Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's
Good
kind of late
evening.
now, but
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
good evening, and we are back. Okay, let's go ahead and get that.
Welcome back to another voyage. Welcome back to another journey. Get on board, put your bags away, kick up your feet, get comfortable, grab you something to drink, grab something to eat, find you a place somewhere. But welcome to another voyage at the helm with Kelly and Wayne.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Wayne. Good to be back. Good to be here again, live. As we today voting finally started. Seems like it was so long, or not too long ago, maybe that we had like 69 days to early voting when we were covering all of those things. I'm hearing something. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's, I don't know.
I mean, what does it sound like? Because I don't hear anything.
I don't know. It could just be around. I don't know. But anyway, early voting started today. Did anyone go vote? Did anyone go out and exercise your freedom, your right to vote today?
We're not talking about the weather changing. It's October,
that was the first question. I'm going to go ahead and get people ready.
Argue about the heat being turned on. Just like, let's just dive right in.
We're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and do
Patrick
all of
Burke,
that.
why are you calling me? You have to know. You have to know that this is.
Maybe he want to get on.
I'm doing a live podcast.
Maybe he want to get on.
What's up?
Y'all started y'all thing yet?
Yes.
We are live. You want to get on?
You are on it.
I'm on it right now.
Right now.
I have a question. I don't think you want my question.
Okay. Well, then call me back.
See? You got to be careful. Got to be.
I know.
Text,
All right. Yeah, text it to me.
Text your question. Good evening, Dr. C.T. Harris. Dr. Heath
all the time.
Said that she went out today. How were the lines? Okay, we're going to talk about the weather. So that was what I was going to say real quick before you answered your phone. Today's early voting. If anybody's on, how did it go? How was the crowds? How was the lines? But yes, we are. It's cold. You say you want to talk about the weather?
I mean, we're just going to dive right in. But that's what we was doing.
Oh.
But yeah. So how was it out there today? I was so in Wake County, we have the ability to see the wait times at each of the 22. We got 22 early voting sites in Wake County. And so I'm able to see.
Thank you, More Monday Movement.
I'm able to see the wait times at each one of those. And there were some that were 2 hours or longer, a 2 hour or longer wait. And then there was some that didn't have no wait at all. I was kind of concerned about one of them that didn't have any wait because that's where, a lot of things going on in that area. Maybe people are showing up to other polls. I don't know. But if you're looking to get in and out, hit me up in Wake County and I'll tell you where the no wait lines are. But there were a lot of lines that were 1 hour to 2 hour waits. There were some that were 30 minutes to 60-minute wait. So we have the ability. They have given us everything we need in order to be able to be prepared to vote. You can go online and print your sample ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a copy of a sample ballot. It kind of looks like the ballot. I printed mine on long paper. This is a sample ballot, front and back. So you can print your sample ballot. Go ahead and cut and circle in your bubble. So when you get there, you don't feel no stress. It sounds like we do need to pack our patience, maybe take a snack. If you are able to curbside vote, then curbside vote. Hey, Darlene, you pull right up. You don't have to get out the car. That is for our people who are differently able, who may have some mobility issues. You don't have to stand in that line and wait. But I do want to say the fair also started today. So we know about standing in lines and waiting because we'll do that for a candy apple.
Won't we?
We'll do it for Italian sausage. we'll do it for a deep fried Oreo.
and some corn.
So let's just take the time again. Can y'all see my boat shirt? I don't know. Wayne got the graphic, the Chiron
Oh,
cutting it off, but my shirt says
put it
virtual.
up.
So yeah, so Sister Carol says she went at 5:30 and there was no wait at the North Carolina Central School of Law.
Bless you, Sister Carol. Bless
Cool.
Central for having.
Cool.
And again, shout out to thank you for the Monday Moral Monday movement of back in the day that fought to get and to keep all of these early voting sites that they continue to try to get rid of because they really don't want people to do no voting. They really don't want people to vote, but we continue to fight for that right and fight against voter suppression, voter intimidation. And again, remember, if anyone has any issues while they're out there voting, if anyone has any issues out there while they're voting, there is a number that we can put on. One is 866-OUR-VOTE, 866-OUR-VOTE. I'm going to put that in the chat. 866-OUR-VOTE if you have any voting issues. So
yeah, stay that close. Stay that close.
Oh, stay that close? Okay. That better?
Yep.
Got you. All righty. You'd think we'd know how to do this by now. But hey.
We need an assistant. Yep. We need a whole production team. That's the problem. We are the whole production team. Let's see. So today, for the Raleigh Apex branch of the NAACP, today is the final day to join if you want to be engaged and involved in our voting process, which will be November the 17th. Mm-hmm. Join the Raleigh Apex branch. On Saturday, the Raleigh Apex branch of the NAACP will be sponsoring a Souls to the Polls. I hear that blowback. In Raleigh, starting at the MLK Gardens on MLK Boulevard, I think, and march to the Chavis Recreation Center for voting. That's a polling site. So we'll be doing that on this Sunday. We are trying to get one together for Holly Springs. So Darlene, stay tuned for that. We're trying to get a Souls to the Polls for Holly Springs on October the 27th.
Yes.
We want to engage all of the churches in the Holly Springs area. We will march from around the area where Apex First Baptist is to Holly Springs, the First Baptist Church of Holly Springs. From that area, they will be having their homecoming that day with J. Vincent Terry. Whole commercial going on here. Yeah. But we will march from the First Baptist Church of Holly Springs to the W.E. Hunt Center. That is also a polling place. So we'll be doing that on October the 27th. So if you haven't voted by October 27th, feel free to join the Holly Springs MLK committee and the local churches and congregations as we do the Souls to the Polls on October the 27th.
Yeah, bring some folks out if you know some people who haven't voted. And if you're going to, so homecoming starts at 3. So you have time. The polls open at 1:30. So
polls open at 1.
At 1, I'm sorry. We're going to meet about 1:30. Plan on soon after that, walking 2 blocks over. Maybe the wait won't be long, but there's a potential that you can come and meet us, walk down and vote, and then go back and praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
With Dr. J. Vincent Terry, who says he is about as long-winded as he is tall. And for those of you who know Dr. J. Vincent Terry, you know what he says when he says that.
So y'all might be out by 3:30 or so. The polls close at 6, so you got time before or after.
Yes. So October's a busy month. Busy month. Look at
October is
a very busy month. We have been busy this month. So since last time we were on here, what has been going on since last time?
I don't know, but
was there any debates?
No.
I don't know.
There was one debate for each one of them. We just been busy. So we do want to recognize October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you find yourself in that situation, we want you to reach out for help. And if you know of someone in that situation, we want you to offer them support. We do know that most of so are we doing stats? Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. you go ahead and do this fast because I don't know if that was geographic, but
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
it wasn't an interruption. I was talking about domestic violence awareness month. You put stats up, so go ahead and read the stats.
And we're gonna see if we can see them. So yes, October Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so the stats do show that 1 out of 3 women will be victims of domestic violence or sexual assault in their lifetime. More than 90% nationally. Only about half of all domestic violence shelter residents do not return to their abusers. More than 90% of the shelter residents do not return.
So Interact is a organization here in Wake County. So again, I know this is an international show, but we're here in North Carolina in Wake County. So
yes.
they are a organization here in Wake County that helps victims of domestic violence escape their abuser. It unfortunately is just for women. We know that there are also men who are victims of domestic violence, but Interact is for women here in Raleigh. We do know that the most dangerous time for a woman is when she is leaving her abuser. That is the most dangerous time. That is when the majority of the homicides happen, when she is trying to get out of the situation. So again, we want to support anyone that we know that is in that situation. And, the majority of the time people want the abuse to stop, but they may not necessarily want the relationship to end. If you don't want to, if you're not able to support someone in that, then just know what your barriers and boundaries are. But once they reach out for help, we want to be there for them. So shout out to everybody doing that work that are helping victims of human trafficking, who are helping people who found themselves in this domestic violence situation. If you need help, reach out.
Yes, and if anybody would like to donate to Interact, they have they about 90 cents of every dollar that they get from donation goes back into their program, goes back into the people that are in their program. So again, thank you, Interact, for all that you do and all that takes place. I lost my page. For some reason. So also, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I didn't have a fancy flyer
It
for
is.
that.
Did anybody see us? I don't know.
No, it's back on.
Oh,
I took it off a while ago. They couldn't.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Pinktober. You've probably seen a lot of pink ribbons. I am blessed to say that I am a 10-year breast cancer survivor. Ooh, I was like, you can put your hands together.
Hold on.
So I am grateful. I'm grateful to be 10 years on this side. But it is a difficult journey for a lot of us. So again, we want to shout out to those who are in the fight, those who are beyond the fight, those who will be diagnosed, because unfortunately, they're diagnosed all the time. We know that Black women are less likely to be diagnosed with breast cancer, but they're more likely to die from it. There are a lot of reasons for that. One, because Black women are out here trying to save the world, but they're not, necessarily taking care of themselves. And so sometimes when we are diagnosed, it is at the late stages. Again, I am grateful and thankful that mine was caught in the early stages, because I was getting a mammogram every year, probably for 10 years by the time that I was diagnosed. So I had a baseline. So we know we knew when something looked different. So ladies, get your mammograms. Men, send your ladies to get their mammograms. Also, men can also be diagnosed with breast cancer. So feel your boobies. If something doesn't feel right, go and get it checked out. So do your self-breast exams monthly, get your mammograms yearly, and take care of yourself.
Yep. So we are grateful and thankful for all of those again that continue to do that fight. And this kind of, everything kind of leads back to this voting too. We want to make sure that everyone has access to healthcare, access to get these mammograms, access to regular doctor's appointments. And there are so many people who that are on the ballots that are trying to deny people healthcare. So we want to make sure that we make our voice heard and people are included in all of that. So
Yeah, and we just want people to just kind of, be in tune to what is going on. There's something on the ballot that affects you
yes,
directly.
yes.
There's something on the ballot that affects you directly. So we want everybody to go and exercise your voice. Are we back to voting? Everything goes back to voting.
It does. It does.
So I was looking and I saw in 2022, I think there were 161 million registered voters in this country. Joe Biden got 81 million votes.
That's how many people voted. 240 million registered voters.
You gonna tell me? Because I'm just
okay. Go ahead.
Do you have a different stat than I do?
Go ahead.
Okay. In 2022, I'm saying if you got a 2024 number, that's different.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So based off my 2020 numbers, 161 million registered voters. Joe Biden got 81 million of those. The other person got 70 some million. So when we're talking about voting and getting people out to vote, the biggest block of voters are the non-voters. So there's a block of people who ain't gonna vote. They registered, maybe somebody pressured them, but they registered to vote, but they are not gonna vote. Somebody pressured them. Because everywhere you go now, you can't really go. Like I know at my job, if you come to the Department of Social Services, a voter registration is part of the packet that you're gonna get. Even if you call in and say, I want to change my address, somebody gonna send you a voter registration. So for whatever reason, we have a lot more people registered than vote. The biggest voting block is the non-voter. And so with that, I'm saying this to encourage some people, because myself included, because when you hear people saying that they're either not going to vote or they're going to vote for somebody that you're not going to vote for, we just need to just kind of breathe and take a step back and just understand that it's not the end of the world. Like everybody ain't coming. Like if Harriet Tubman didn't teach us nothing, she taught us everybody ain't ready for freedom. And you can't shoot them. So you leave people where they are, you give them the information, you leave them where they are. But yeah, so don't get discouraged if you run into somebody who says they're voting for that other guy. Just know that we don't need everybody. We need enough. We need just enough of us to show up and to cast our votes. Don't let it get you down. And you know what? I am ready for these next 19 days to be done, because if I see one more commercial, like I am ready to get back to the commercials with the bears out buying Charmin tissue. Like I'm ready for that. I'm ready. The Christmas commercials are coming. I'm ready for them. I'm so sick of these political commercials. So anybody else like? And I was at my aunt's house the other day, yesterday, and she was turning her TV because she was sick of hearing about the commercial. She turned it to Lifetime. There was a good Christmas show on already. Right in the middle of the Mark Robinson commercial came on. Like YouTube Lifetime.
Everybody got them.
YouTube Lifetime.
Yeah.
So turn on some Netflix. You do one of your little streaming apps. They ain't on there. My mindless activity is watching The Office or watching Modern Family, playing Candy Crush. Like do whatever it is to keep your mental health up, to keep yourself sane.
Yes, and all of the mailers. I'm tired of going. Yeah, every day.
Except the one that came and we were on it.
Oh, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know where I should have had that one.
Except for the one that came and we were on it. Like the Wilhelms was on the flyer.
Should have had that one. Should have had that one.
So did y'all get that? Did anybody get a flyer with the Wilhelms on it? Let us know. Let us know if you're in our district. For Sophia Jackson.
Yes.
She's running against the person where you see all these signs on the side of the road, like they've gone crazy with these signs. Name recognition ain't what we're going by.
No, we're going by people who care about the things that we care about. So when you were talking about people who do the non-voters and that non-voting block, want to share this little piece of stat here. This is from the North Carolina Poor People's Campaign. So in those, what they call those swing states, which Dr. Greg Carr said every state's a swing state. But and I can't hardly see these numbers. But the victory margin in these states and people that did not vote.
The margin of victory,
yes. And the people that did not, the low and income voters, the people who did not vote. So, in Arizona, there were 1.7 million poor and low wage infrequent voters. And the margin of victory was only 10,000. And over 1 million of those people did not vote. Over 1 million of those people did not vote. So, North Carolina, the margin of victory was like 74,000. There are 2.4 million poor and low wage infrequent voters. So the margin of victory again was about 1 million. So out of all of these states, that margin of victory was, right around 1 million, a little less than 2 million. And the people who didn't vote was almost 6-7 million.
Yeah. Once again, the biggest block are the people who don't vote. And so 2 votes per precinct can change an election.
Yes.
3 votes can change an election. And we know that here in North Carolina, where we had a Supreme Court Justice, Sherry Beasley, lose by 400, less than 500 votes. That would, and that was a statewide race. So you talk about literally one more vote in, just a few more precincts, and our Supreme Court in North Carolina would look a little different right now. So yeah, people may think that their vote doesn't count, but every vote counts.
All of them. And again, we know that they counted. They wouldn't try to disallow them so much. So I want to show one more, what, a lot of what we heard throughout this season, and we're still hearing it, that people, that we do have a new candidate, VP Harris is someone who was not running for president. People know her, but then there was like, I don't really know a lot about her. I don't really know a lot about her. You know a lot about the other person. But so there was a scorecard that was created. And again, this is a nonpartisan scorecard that talks about political issues. When we talk about raising the minimum wage to $15, protecting and expanding workers' rights to unionize, lowering prescription drug prices, cutting food assistance funding, restrictive abortion access, removing clean air protections, funding, removing clean water protection, funding gun violence prevention, mental health, and school safety taxes.
Basically, all areas of the social determinants of health.
Yeah. So schools, all of these things,
medical, healthcare, all of these things, you can look and see who's for it. And spoiler alert, it ain't the pro-life people.
Yeah.
It's not them.
And
pro-life people don't want to give people a child tax credit. Take care of your children for the first year.
Nope.
I think the Harris administration will give people up to $6,000 a year when your child is born as a child tax credit. Republicans did not want that. When we talk about poverty, when they did that child tax credit, it lifted almost 50% of the children out of poverty. And then the Republicans voted not to extend it. So
yes,
again, we say it's nonpartisan, but hey, it is what it is.
But these are based on what they're running on. These are based on their policies, and these are based on their voting records. So this is not an opinionated vote. You can find all of this information when it comes to overturning student debt relief. There's a party who is like, yes, they want to I mean, they're not trying to overturn student debt relief.
Why does that say no?
Because they're not trying to overturn it. This is overturning. They want to go back. And
gotcha.
yeah, these is groups who want to overturn student debt relief.
Oh, not like continue it, not
Yeah,
give it out.
They want to overturn it. 100% says yeah.
Yeah, we don't know if people can see this, so we'll take it out.
But so, these are issues. So people need to just, again, hopefully by now people have informed themselves, and let them, found out their information and what they, what their concern is. And what we found out is most of the people who, the same people who are against living wages are against workers' rights. Same people that are against workers' rights are against people having, universal health care, expanded Medicaid. People who are against fighting against health care are the ones that are trying to not fund public schools. So, it's a trend that we continue to see with all of that. So again, when it comes to, I don't know. There's information out there. There's information out there. And we've shared before. Sirius XM, Channel 126, great information, good information about, issues that are happening every day, not disinformation.
Right. So speaking of information, again, early voting started in North Carolina. So what that means is you can go anywhere in your county and cast your vote. Like you don't have to go to your polling place. Early voting is from today. It ends on November the 2nd. So it's every day from now until November 2nd. That includes the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturdays, the polling places will close at 3:00 in the afternoon. On Sundays, they close at 6, and I think Monday through Friday, they're open until 7. So you have plenty of time and plenty of opportunity. Now, early voting is good here in North Carolina because if you did not get registered to vote by October the 11th, then you cannot vote on voting day. You cannot vote on November the 5th. However, if you go into any early voting polling place, well, in your county, you can register to vote and vote the same day. Now, yesterday, I checked one of my cousin's registration and they are inactive. How? As much as I have been talking about, check your registration. So now, in order for her to cast her vote, she is going to have to go to early voting. She's not going to be able to go on November the 5th. She can't wait until then because she's not registered. She has been purged from the roll. She last voted in 2020. Skip a midterm, skip a primary. They figure you're not interested anymore. This is what we mean when we say voter suppression, because leave the voting rolls alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me show up when I show up. So now my cousin has to go to a early voting site between now and November 2nd with her ID and a proof of residence. So some type of utility bill. She needs to take that to prove where she lives and register to vote and vote on the same day. She can do that. Speaking of ID, again, I just spoke about the Supreme Court. Because of the Supreme Court we now have, and I guess people voted for it too. We now have a voter ID here in North Carolina. It's not needed, but we have it. That is the law. So if you don't have your ID, you can still vote. They're going to give you some type of waiver. You will cast a provisional vote on that day. You can bring your driver's license, your ID back before voting day, and you can then cast a ballot. Personally, I don't like provisional ballots. This is me. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I don't like provisional ballots because a lot of times they're not counted. But that's just me. So make sure that you have your ID. If you have a North Carolina ID, your driver's license, and it is expired, if it has been expired for less than a year, you can use it to vote. If you are over 65, let's say you're 80, if your driver's license, your ID was valid on your 65th birthday, it is still valid. So even if it expired 20 years ago, if it was valid on your 65th birthday, it is valid. Take it with you. Again, you can go into any, if you are wanting to vote absentee. Right now, we're not trusting the mail because one of those the person from the last administration is still running the mail system. Make sure that you take it to, take it to your, if you can, take it to your Board of Elections office. If not, drop it off in the neighborhood where they might not be expecting you to drop things off in the neighborhood. Because all neighborhoods are not created equal. You feel me?
Mhm.
So maybe you don't want to drop it off some parts of town. Maybe you want to drive it to make sure that it's going to be picked up and delivered on time. Again, voter suppression in North Carolina is a real thing. So we want to make sure anybody have any questions about voting? That's what we said we're going to talk about. Any questions about
Yeah, put them in the chat.
when to vote, how to vote, who to vote for?
Need a scorecard. So I do want to say something. I do want to say when you mentioned, the voter ID that the people voted on it. So there's another Constitution mandate being asked on the ballot to vote. Do you want to vote yes or no? And can I have that so I can actually read it?
What you want?
Your ballot so I can read that thing to vote.
Oh,
So it is a constitutional amendment to provide that only a citizen of the United States who is 18 years of age and otherwise possessing the qualifications for voting shall be entitled to vote in any election in this state. So I don't know, 6-8 years ago, whenever we did that, they put that voter ID on the ballot. So the first thing they did is gave all this misinformation and disinformation about people who were fraudulently voting. They've never proved it. No court has ever proved it. There's no evidence ever than that.
and in North Carolina, the one time that they did prove voter fraud, it was a Republican.
It was, yes, it happened more.
So
And so forever, I mean, this was many years ago. This was bipartisan. Both parties agreed to what they call signature verification, to where when you came in, they verified your signature. And that's what people said was fine for the voting. Well, 2020, which really stemmed from 2008 when Mr. Obama was elected president, that white folks lost their mind and said, this cannot happen in this country. That they want to act like they, were all for it. But so that's when they began, that night that he was elected, when Mr. Mitch McConnell got together.
just Mitch.
And he's like, hey, our goal is to make him a one-term president. Tea Party, all of these people came together and continue. There's still, that's how the
We
extremists
still got
here.
Ted Cruz.
Yes. So the extremists, after all of this, and then in 2020, when voting went back up, so they start seeing people voting, certain groups of people, black and brown folk, people who are non-white, really coming to the polls. So it's like, okay, voter suppression. So we need to make sure that we make this more difficult. So again, this misinformation and disinformation, and then you have a whole bunch of people thinking, voter ID, and they want to make it seem like it's so easy for everybody to have an ID, that this is not going to bother anyone. So now here we are, because people told those stories and people thought it sounded like something good. So here we are again. You've been hearing and hearing and hearing immigration, illegal immigrants, illegal people. They're flooding. It's more. There's 10 million, 100 million, 500 million, a billion. You just hear all of these lies and misinformation. So again, this information goes back. So this amendment to provide that only a citizen in the United States who is 18 years of age, otherwise possessing the qualification for voting, shall be. That's already in the Constitution.
That's the law.
That's the law already. You don't need to vote for something that's already there. That would be like you riding down the road and you see the speed limit that says speed limit is 55. Oh, we need to vote to make the speed limit 55. It's already there. It's already in the Constitution. It's already there. But what they are trying to do is make it more difficult to prove citizenship.
Yep.
Because right now, naturalization, if you are born in this country, no matter where your parents are from. If you're born in this country, you are a citizen
Thank you,
of this.
14th Amendment.
Yeah, you are a citizen in this United States. If you were born here, you
15th
are a
Amendment.
citizen in these. So what they're trying to do is like, how can we stop this? Oh, we can now. Let's go back and try to make sure that not only if you're born here, your parents got to be citizens. Or you know what? Maybe we even take it back a little further. These extremists are even considering we want to make sure their grandparents were citizens, naturalized citizens.
So what this does is disenfranchise naturalized citizens.
Yes,
People who
short version.
who
Yes.
people love to say come here the right way. These are people who came here the right way.
Yep.
People who have become naturalized citizens. They are
Mhm.
citizens. So we are against this amendment.
Yeah.
So just so we know,
Yeah.
we're against the amendment. Now, the one for the library bonds, personally, I'm for the library bonds because if it passes, Friendship gonna get a library. That's a little selfish.
Mhm.
But again, so the libraries are places where children can go who may not have internet at home. It's where children can go to get to check out books who may not have books at home. It's where adults can go to use the internet to apply for jobs. So libraries are good hubs in the community.
Yes.
So in Wake County, this is just in Wake County. And it is going to cost you a little bit. If your property taxes are going to go up $2.50 for every $100,000 that your property is worth. So if your property is worth $200,000, it's going to cost you an extra $5
A year.
for a little kid to be able to go to the library to get internet.
Mhm.
So sometimes we have to be concerned about our fellow people.
That's right.
We can't just be concerned about, just how it's going to affect our pockets. So again, it's a yes for me on the libraries. Friendship is just doing too much right now. I kind of like lost it when they got a stoplight about 5 or 6 years ago.
Where the parade used to go through.
Then
It
they
ended up
got
with the parade.
a middle school, elementary school. Now they have a elementary, a middle, and a high school. And now Friendship is going to be getting a library. So yes on the bonds, against on the amendment. We don't need it.
Yeah, it's already.
We
in
don't
there.
need this Supreme Court telling us what a citizen is.
When we already have the Constitution telling us what a citizen is. And you know what's amazing that these constitutionalists
Yes.
who claim that the Constitution is a living, not a living document, but a document that when the founding fathers.
Oh, they love that.
They love that. But then now you want to go back and change pieces of it that don't fit you. Now, the
Yeah.
founding fathers that y'all love so much, that y'all said was Christian folk, that was founded on these godly principles that y'all love so much, they said in that 14th Amendment that if you're born here, you are a citizen. Now, you want to stand on everything else they put in there.
But we already know we can't take these people serious.
Oh, yeah.
These are the same pro-life people. They love pro-life people that they don't want to give babies food in school. They don't want them to have free lunch.
They're not concerned about the 800 people who die every day because of poverty.
They don't want to give them money to fund our public schools to teach them.
Yes.
But hey, they love the kids.
And I really want to know how many of the pro-life people.
Birth.
Yeah, how many of the pro-life people throughout this world the last couple weeks were standing up and fighting against the execution of several young men over that were on death row.
And can I talk about this? This is not on our list of things to talk about, but the Menendez brothers, it's funny because I remember that, it's been so long ago. They killed their parents. There's no question. They killed their parents. But now there's this push to let them out. And when we just had a man a couple weeks ago who says that he was innocent, and he probably was innocent.
Yes, they had evidence.
But they went ahead and executed them anyway.
Yes. So where are the pro-life people? Pro-life, you want to say, yeah. So again, it's this hypocrisy that we continue to be part of. But again, back to this constitutional amendment. It's already in the Constitution.
We're against it.
There's no need. Y'all don't need to be playing with the Constitution.
Do we need to play our disclaimer?
Oh, do we? I mean, maybe.
Go ahead and play it.
Let me hold on. Let's play it.
Play the disclaimer.
Let me play it.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the host of At the Helm podcast belong solely to them and not necessarily their church, family, employer, or each other.
Yeah. But it makes a
There
lot
it
of sense
is.
though.
But hey, what's right is right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right is right.
Yes. So we thank Aubrey for our disclaimer.
So is anybody watching the that Menendez brothers documentary? That's on, I think it's on Netflix. And it's funny that my grandchildren find all these things again that is history to them. They're watching it. And I lived through these things. Like they were watching the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan thing. Now they're
Oh, yeah.
watching this Menendez brothers thing. And was like, my gosh, I'm a historical figure. I am a historical figure right now.
You know what that translates to?
What?
I ain't gonna say it. Historical figure. I like them words better. I like them words better.
That's good. Yep.
Historical figure. Put it in chat. Oh. So again, check your registration, check your registration, check your registration. So we have been, sharing all these things that, October, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is also Clergy Appreciation Month.
Give it up for the clergy.
Give it up for the clergy, for the preachers. Hey, that's hard to say sometimes. The preachers be cutting up.
Sometimes they do, but we're not talking about them.
No, we're not talking about. We're talking about those who love the Lord.
We're giving it up for the clergy.
You give it up for the clergy who
it's a thankless
a lot
job
of times
sometimes.
are underappreciated. But we thank those who are truly trying to fulfill God's will and to love all of God's people. And I say to all of you, you clergy and you Christians too, if you don't, read anything, if you don't, study anything, study the red words of what Jesus said.
Yeah.
We always say, what would Jesus do? We don't have to figure that out. We can say what would Jesus do? We can go back and look at what did Jesus do. I mean, he's got, several books in there, and then the red letters of what he said. And Jesus said love multiple times in all of those red letters. Not hate, not divide, not separate.
Not if they was born here, not if they came here the right way.
Not if they came, none of that. He said, love them, love your neighbor. So it's in the red letters. So if you're going to, follow Jesus, at least follow what he said. But shout out to, again, all the Clergy Appreciation Month. We appreciate the pastors, the preachers, teachers, the bishops, the apostles, the overseers, the evangelists, ministers, all the other titles that I may have left out. But thank you for all that you do and pour into and take care.
Yes.
So I think you were going to mention there's a conference coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to probably mention this every time we get on. It's the Black Mental Health Conference. It will be January the 31st. It's a 2-day conference on January 31st. It will end on February the 1st. So we'll be kicking off Black History Month with the closing out of the Black Mental Health Conference in Durham, North Carolina. The keynote is...
See the flag?
Huh?
See the flag?
Yeah, the keynote speaker is LaToya Luckett. Wait. Yeah. LaToya Luckett. One of the things, so what I'm excited about this week is there will be a couple of, so Marcellus Reynolds, y'all might know him if you watch Big Brother. I didn't see it. I have, since when I knew he was going to be here, I went back and started watching some of it, but it's just, this wasn't my thing. But Marcellus Reynolds was on Big Brother. Big Brother. And Sherelle Duncan was on Love and Marriage DC on the second season. And so they'll be talking about how Black people are portrayed in the media. Jackie Pittman is actually a casting director or executive producer. She casts people to be on reality TV shows. So I am interested because I am sometimes a reality TV junkie. I like the Real Housewives of Potomac. I used to watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then I might have told y'all this story, but I was watching it one time and Candy's baby was 10 months old and she put him on a toilet and he used like she was potty training this baby at 10 months. And I was like, yeah, I don't need this kind of negativity in my life. Like, really, I stopped watching it. watching it like, Kelly, stop. Just stop this. It's too much. But shout out to the baby getting potty trained at 10 months.
Mhm.
We can do all things. Hallelujah. But no, I'm not watching that. So I don't watch that anymore. But what other reality TV show do we watch? We watch a lot of reality TV.
I mean, we used to watch The Real World.
Bruh. And I was
I
gonna
mean,
say
it's all
again, historical figures.
Yeah,
He
historical
said,
figure.
he said The Real World was the very first
Yeah.
reality TV show. With
Oh,
what's my girl on there? What's her name? Heather B.
Yeah.
With Heather B on there. So yeah, no.
so it's Naked and Afraid reality TV.
Naked and Afraid is reality TV, but we don't watch that. We watched a couple episodes.
that
Like
one-
we're not invested.
Yeah,
I
but I'm
haven't.
But is that reality
It
TV?
is yes.
Okay. So I
Anybody
never
with a
watched it.
camera that's doing confessionals, that's reality TV.
Gotcha.
If there's not a script and there ain't no people laughing in the background and they don't come on and say this was filmed before a live studio audience, it's reality TV.
I got you.
So, but anyway, shout out to Dr. LaShonda Lucas, the visionary behind the Black Mental Health Conference. Yes. Love Dr. Lucas. She is the first person, black, white, or any other, to graduate from A&T's doctoral program.
All right.
So
shout out.
history in the making. So
Yes.
we'll be talking about this. It's in Durham. Go to the BHMconference.com. Is that what it is? The BHMconference.com. Check out the Black Mental Health Conference. We have to take care of ourselves, mind, body, and soul. We definitely believe in holistic. So after we talked about shout out to the clergy,
Yes.
we want to shout out to ourselves and we take care of ourselves.
Yes. And shout out to all of the mental health people who are in that profession. Because you can have Jesus and a therapist.
We believe.
You can go to church on Sundays and to a therapy session on Monday or two to a couple of days a week or how many ever you need. They work together. They work very well together. So again, we appreciate all of those who continue to make sure that people have their mental health and mental awareness, mental capabilities are where they need to be. So again, shout out to all of them. I don't know if we had any questions. Are you getting any questions about it?
Nothing in the chat. Anybody want to come up? Just holler at us real quick.
Real quick before we get ready to get off this here boat.
We're actually getting ready to
This ride
disembark.
is almost over, but if anybody wants to get on, if anybody else wants to get on and have any questions or have anything, we are at that moment. So are you prepared to leave this ride? Anybody, speaking of rides, did you say anything about the fair?
I did. I said it
Oh,
started
yeah.
today, and y'all gonna stand in line for them
You did.
elephant eels.
Yeah, anybody, did anybody go to the fair
We
today?
forgot to buy our advance tickets. Does
Oh,
that mean
yeah.
we're not going?
That's
why we ain't going to the fair.
That's right. I know some people are gonna be looking. Yeah, I like going to kind of get some stuff to eat. I don't do those rides at the fair. Known a few people that have had some injuries and some issues being on those rides, and I'm a little bit older now. I'm in my 30s.
Historical figure.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s, so I can't do like I used to.
You in your 30s, right?
I'm in my 30s. I can't.
Darlene said, where can she find her sample ballot?
I'm finna put it.
Wayne is gonna put it in the.
Wayne
is gonna put it in the
in the chat.
But it's from our Wake County site. I don't know if you can see this, but it's gonna be put your name in there, and it will pull up the one specific to you. So you may not be able to share it with your friend in friendship. Friendship is my place. So my ballot is going to be a little different than my mama's ballot. So we need to pull up everybody's individually to make sure that we have the right one. You can circle in your bubbles, take it with you to the polls, take it in with you. So that's allowed. Take it with you. Already filled out. Go ahead and fill it out. Again, on the back, they made it kind of easy this time. I don't think they do this every time where they put the party affiliation under the candidate's name. Sometimes you don't know. So we do have a couple of nonpartisan races. Our Wake County Soil and Water District. We like Reese. Okay.
He likes the soul.
I think Reese is a she.
She likes the soul.
So anyway, if you have any other questions, just give me a call.
Yes.
I'm available. But yeah.
All right, so Darlene, that is in the chat.
So Darlene, we want to make sure that you are registered.
So on that site, you can go to voter lookup, voter search, put your name in.
Let me see if I can find you. Keep talking to her.
And put your name in. First name, last name. You can click the county. But then it'll find you. Click on there. And then once you get on that page, you can scroll down and see it'll say my ballot. It'll let you know your polling place. It'll let you know if you're active or inactive. Shows all of those things. And also the website is, that is where you go to North Carolina Board of Elections website. That's where you can see all the wait times for the voting sites. And it will tell you where all the sites are in Wake County.
So Darlene, you need to put in, so they have Norris as your middle name. So your name is Darlene Bowden. So put your first name, Darlene, last name Bowden, and it will pull right up. And then you scroll down and you click on, it'll say your sample ballot. It'll be, there's a hyperlink there. It's blue. Click on that and it'll pull it right up.
Yep.
So that's how you are registered.
And everyone remember, anywhere in Wake County, any early voting site in Wake County you can go to. So if you are out, if you're looking on their site and you see Southeast Raleigh or Chavis Park, or you see North Regional Center, you see Wake Tech, or you see Holly Spring Hunt Center, you see Apex's communities. If you see somewhere where the line is low and you say, hey, I'm going to run there, just know you can go anywhere in the early voting.
In your county.
Mm-hmm.
During early voting only. If you wait till voting day, you have to go to your polling place, your assigned polling place.
Yes.
So they're going to walk in, they're going to ask you for your ID. They are checking your face only. Your address does not have to match. If you moved recently and you did not, update you didn't update your ID yet. As long as you're registered at your current address, your ID the address on your ID does not have to match your registration. Your face has to match your face when you walk in there. That's all they should be checking. If they say anything else, not today.
Yes.
Manubo, we miss him. Shout out to
that
him.
was
Matumbo. The kid made Matumbo. Not today.
He's gone on to be with the ancestors.
May he rest with the ancestors.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions? I'm glad we got Darlene squared away.
So again, if you have any issues, please 866 our vote. And so know when you go to the polls, there may be some people there passing out information. There may be people, requesting, hey, vote for my candidate. It may even be that candidate, maybe that candidate's husband there. But what they can't do is interfere.
What they're not supposed
to do. But we have some of these extremists. We heard someone was in Holly Springs, they kind of acting up a little bit. But they
y'all love her though.
Y'all
love her though.
Yep. But they can't, they can't interfere, they can't harass. All they can do is ask you, and they're not supposed to go much more beyond and really handing you literature.
And you know what will cut all of that out? You say, nope, I got my sample ballot. I don't need any more literature.
And if you,
You're just gonna throw it in the trash anyway. I
Mhm.
already got it filled out. I know who I'm voting for.
Mhm.
So that's another good reason to take that with you. So when they hand you those things when you're trying to walk in, you say, nope, I
I'm
got
good.
it.
Yep.
I got it.
Yep.
My ballot, I got my sample ballot filled out.
Yep. And if you want a scorecard, we can send. I need to send that. I need to figure. I need to put that somehow in the link. But I'm going to have some to share with some of the churches in the area, some of the scorecards. So feel free while they come to say, and they want to pitch themselves while you're standing in line. You can have this scorecard and say, hey, where did you vote on the living wage? While we're standing here waiting, where did you vote on healthcare? Because I see your party. Where did you vote since you were running in this district where I'm voting at?
Did you vote to give my school some money?
Did you vote to give my school some money? Did you vote on giving all the money to the school vouchers? Did you vote to make sure daycare providers had funding? Where you at on health insurance for everyone? So yeah, so
All right.
those are some questions
Those are
that
questions.
they normally do not want to answer. They want,
and if they don't, that's your answer.
that's your answer.
A non-answer is an answer.
Yeah.
But be prepared. Get a plan. If you're in Holly Springs, or Apex, or Fuquay, or any of the surrounding areas, try to meet us October the 27th in Holly Springs. If you're in Raleigh, Morrisville, well, maybe not. Cary, Garner, meet us this Sunday.
This Sunday.
This Sunday at the MLK Gardens, and we will take our souls to the polls to the Chavis site. And if you don't, if you've already voted, you may want to just come out for more support, because sometimes it just feels better to be with people that you know. That way, if it may not be you that has to speak to the people that are trying to impede your way.
Yeah.
It's always better to go with a group.
Yeah.
So we are getting ready to disembark. I have just a little something to say. My quote for tonight is, not all positive change feels positive when it's happening. It may feel like a turmoil when it's going. One thing we know about change is that it's undefeated. Change will continue to come. So not all positive change feels positive when it's happening. Embrace it anyway. And I know all of us have something in our lives that it happened and we thought it was like the worst thing. And now we look back on it and we say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for the deliverance from that thing. So just embrace the change. Go in with a positive attitude. Attitude is everything. And continue to take control. Be at the helm.
Be at the helm.
Be at the helm.
Be at the helm. You are the driver. You are the controller of what you do. The only thing that, what did that lady say that night? The only thing that is consistent is change. What'd she say? You almost said it. What'd she say?
The only thing that's consistent is change.
Is change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna tell everybody, get off, get your stuff. You at the end of this voyage. We appreciate you being here. We look forward to. I need to see a calendar real quick. I want to see what the next time we come back, where we gonna be. It will be October the 31st.
Oh, and that night we will have a guest. We're gonna have someone coming to talk to us about budgeting. Miss Veronica Mile will be with us. So I'm looking forward to that, because we're going into this holiday season. Don't y'all go into debt trying to provide for. We're not doing that. So Veronica Mile will be with us on Halloween.
October 31st.
Because being in debt is scary.
Yes. So go out, get your candy, get all you need, pull it together, and come and get on this voyage. Bring your candy with you.
Be
Bring
back
your
by
bags.
8 o'clock.
Be back by 8 o'clock for this voyage. All righty.
We will see you all then.
See y'all then. We're out.
In the road. Vote.
Hey.